Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joshua Johnson, also known as J Cameron 1, and the best Fuqua player in the Skullgirls World Grand Prix. Anybody who disagrees with me can play me in a 1st to 25 for the title of best clone girl main. Fuqua only. Nightmare Crest. Dominique McHugh. Now that my obvious lying and shallow grandstanding is over, allow me to teach you how to play this meme dream character and show off why she is the right pick for you. Fuqua's game plan is to use her long distance tools like her 2 projectiles, her double jump, and her average normals to close the gap and use the rest of her toolkit to not only mix up pressure, but to strategically drop and pick up your combos in ways that would deal substantial damage, while pro players make your compatriots jealous and show those filthy Marvel free, BB tag, and fighters players what real mix looks like. But to reach this character's full potential, we first must see what those tools are. Let's start from the top. Please note that I will be using a bunch of terms that fighting game players should already know, but if you are someone who is just getting into fighting games, or a mouth-breathing Neanderthal who couldn't get out of his own way because some random person won't play you in your warped, brain-dead ideal of honorable and you got exposed on Twitter for being a salty, vulgar, diaper monkey whose arguments are as dumb as Tyler 1 is loud, then these terms should be something you should get into the habit of remembering. Now let's talk about her normals. Fuqua's normals aren't too spectacular, since all of her animations hail from that main character. Basic bitch, rushdown lookalike whose basic game plan is just ripping your defenses, health, couches, paper money, relationships, and your trust in God apart. But some noteworthy normals are her jumping like punch, which comes out really fast, has decent range, can confirm into other normals on hit and on block, and is good for controlling space unless your opponent decides to throw a projectile. It is reminiscent of a certain meme that the kids these days won't stop saying. I can't remember it for the life of me. Her crouching light kick is the only crouching light kick in the game that can chain into itself, or out of a standing, or crouching light punch or standing kick. Use this if you have conditioned your opponent to block high. Her crouching medium punch is good for intercepting characters who think taking to the skies is safe, because not only is it fast, but the head portion of the move is intangible, so any hit that tries to poke at her from the sky, Eli's up will whiff and cause no interaction, much less damage to her, while the move is out. Her crouching heavy punch is a long range poke that is disjointed, but that's pretty much it. It's also used for her combo setup for a very unique special that I will get into later. Her standing heavy punch is a launcher, and that is where your combos are most likely coming from. It isn't fast by any means, so throwing it out in neutral is that great of an idea. But since it is a heavy move, you can combo into it and rack up some damage. Now that the resident sleeper normals have been talked about, we can discuss the greatest normal ever to grace this character. Her best aerial without a doubt is her jumping heavy kick. This move turns your hair into a mouth that chomps down on your opponent like that one chubby clown from Monster House. This move will borderline win neutral if close enough to apply pressure and take her straight to the ground regardless if it's on hit or block. On hit, you can go straight into a combo for some decent damage, unless it is on counter hit. Then your opponent is going to explode. On block, you are taken to the ground and can use your ground normals and assists to enter a block string and bring the schmicks. The schmicks will come later in the video, I promise. From there you can apply pressure assuming your opponent doesn't push block. But even if they do, there are assists who hard punish that, or keep the pressure anyways. So if your opponent knows what's good for them, they will sit there and eat the mix. Unless they push block guard cancel. But most players don't do that. It comes out extremely fast, but not as fast as jumping light punch, and can sometimes punish with close attacks or ground throws. This move is so good to the user it will pay their college tuition, make 2D girls real, buy you and your significant other drinks, win you Evo, get low tier god to praise you, and even get you into heaven upon death IRL. But sadly it only hits me, so your opponent doesn't have to guess which direction to block. Let's move on to her specials. Her standard projectile is Love Dart. The input is quarter circle forward, and it is a standard projectile that can be sent in one of 3 trajectories, while you are standing, or in the air. You can't spam it like some of these other brain-dead monkeys, because you have to wait for the fireball to return to Fuqua before using it. The fireball goes into different trajectories, based on what punch button you press, so it would be wise to get familiar with the different patterns. If that's too much to remember, just keep in mind that the heavier the punch button used for the move is, the bigger the arc will be before the fireball bounces. Also please note that it stays out for a while, unless it hits someone, makes them block, or collides with a projectile. This property makes it great for wake up pressure, if your opponent likes to mash when knocked down. The next special to talk about is Platonic Relationship. It is performed by using quarter circle forward, and any kick button. Fuqua's hair becomes a drill that rushes forward with great force and stopping power, but no one uses the light kick or medium kick version. The heavy kick version is almost always a better call, because unlike the other 2 pussy bitch moves, this one allows you to eliminate the need for consideration of whose turn it is, because it is strike invulnerable on startup. Meaning that if your enemy ever decided to allow even an instant of pressure to let up, they will eat a drill the size of a table coming at them from at least half screen away as their hitbox phases through you, as if it never existed at all. If it lands, use a super afterwards to maximize damage. We'll talk about those later, don't worry. She has some cool stuff to use. Please note that this special can only be done on the ground. So if your opponent is keeping you suspended in the air, your best option is to be patient and look for an opportunity to hit light punch. Now we are moving into the supremacy of Fuqua's tools, so pay close attention or you will cast shame on your Fuqua main brethren. The next 2 specials are command grabs. Quarter circle forward light punch and light kick at the same time makes Fuqua perform tender embrace. It's a super fast command grab that is throw invulnerable. It's good for punishing an opponent that is blocking too much, but you can't combo out of it without spending a bar of meter for a certain super, or if your opponent has you in the corner. But who cares about an 8-frame command grab that is sure to catch anyone off guard if you delay it in a combo or block string, when you have in your hands the literal definition of big dick. Quarter circle back light punch and light kick is the input for inevitable snuggle. The stronger, beefier, gets more money, fucks more bitches, Chad Daddy version of tender embrace. It has much more startup in comparison, but more than makes up for it by being armored on startup for a walloping 7 hits. This absolute unit of move can bolt through most level 1 supers and level 3 supers, and can be comboed out meterlessly anywhere on screen. This move is the king of power moves, and should be in every Fuqua's repertoire, and never be ignored, unless you want to be a shameless scrub that gets exposed for ass backward arguments and terrible taste in profile pictures. I'm not bitter, I swear. However, both of these command grabs should be used with caution. Because both these moves are command grabs, they can only work on your opponent if they are on the ground with the hitbox touching them, and not in hits to nor blocks them. Otherwise they phase through either of your command grabs and your health bar will explode. But the backbone of all Fuqua tech lies in the deadliest special in her toolkit. The use of this move without proper training will result in health explosion, pain, and humiliation that would make even the most hardened of criminals shudder, and possibly even death. This special move is only handcrafted by the gods of the fighting game genre, the devs at Lab Zero, and as such this should be treated better than anything humanity has bared witness to. Ladies, gentlemen, and that technicolor rainbow in between, I give you forever a clone.
Boo! You suck!
Forever a clone or else Fuqua. to not only cover options, extend combos, and mix up pressure, but it does so in such a broad spectrum of ways that the warrior mains of this character have been able to find new ways to mix up in combos, combo resets, and block strings. Even to this day. But enough cleaning the ass of this new utility, let's go over what it does. By inputting quarter circle back, and any kick button, Fuuka will do a sassy pose that deserves a bad bitch award. Depending on which kick button you press, she will do a different pose and summon a clone that will hit low, middle, or high. Light kick is a slide that trips and hits low. Medium kick is a hit grab that grabs the opponent and slams them back down in your direction. And heavy kick is a bonk on the noggin that hits high and reminds me of some dumb joke that I can't put my finger on. That passing memory still eludes me. One day I will reclaim what was lost. The standing heavy kick and crouching heavy punch are the catalysts in setting up the schmicks this special is famous for. You can also summon a light or heavy clone, while a medium clone grabs the opponent. You cannot summon any other clone, while a light clone or heavy clone is out. You also cannot use the same clone in a combo. I know this is a lot, but stay with me. Be careful as to when you summon the light or heavy clone after medium. If you try to summon your light or heavy clone before the medium clone grabs your opponent, Fuuka won't summon it. Wait until after the clone grabs the opponent. Once you get the timing down, Fuuka is now free to drop her combo with a seemingly stray hit and mix up her opponent with her positioning and clone behind her. This paves the way for some wacky resets using her set play and can also extend her combo even further than what her basic combo structures and plethora of tools would warrant. But back to clone schmicks. What makes this move so sick is that if you hold the kick button you can hold the clone in place and be free to move afterwards. Allow me to say this again. You are allowed to move freely. Throw buttons? Yes. Throw opponents? Yes. Throw your annoying friends off of buildings? Yes. Throw the world into chaos? Yes! After letting go of the button, the clone will travel forward as a hitbox independent of Fuuka. All of your block strings, combos, and resets now become accentuated on a level unheard of. Finally set play that doesn't suck, or is easily removed by mashing. However, this is not without sacrifice. The longer you hold clone, the more health you passively lose. You can't lose a round from draining health, but you can die from blocking hits, so be cautious. The health lost however goes into a reserve that can be gained back by taunting, landing giant phallus or the grab, and big bore cannon. Not all health returns are equal though. So like everything in this character's kit, use with caution. Now for the intellectuals who are paying attention amidst that staggering amount of imbeciles known as Peacock, Squiggly, Beowulf, Philia, Cerebella, and Perisal mains. I have a small question. What is wrong with this picture? Not it. I shouldn't be able to command grab you, because I was holding light kick low, right? Well, the answer is that I modded the game. Not really. A cool trick, I mean. The hidden maneuver is that if you let go of one kick button and hold another while Fuuka is busy sourcing on them, you can use another button to hold the clone in place. This allows for Fuuka to be as freeform with pressure as she wants, and your opponent can sit there and suffer until they inevitably DP through your layers of setup, because the sad part of fighting games is that no matter how skilled you are, or how complex your game plan is to your opponent, if they know when to mash, it all goes down the fucking drain and you have to sit there and eat the decades old mix that was only a problem in Street Fighter Alpha 3 and nothing else. Wait, wrong game. Back to Fuuka. She has 5 supers. It's about time I spilled the beans on them. Clone Kiss is a souped up version of Love Dart. The input for it is quarter circle forward and any 2 of the 3 punch buttons at the same time. Use this if you want to get as much damage out of her combos as possible if you are in the corner. It also makes your heavy kick version of Platonic Relationship safe on block, unless they push block a certain way. It is possible to do this on the ground or in the air. It will travel the same way on the ground regardless of what 2 buttons are used. But in the air, different buttons throw the super in different ways. I don't have a pattern for easy memorization like love darts, so you'll have to use the noggin to remember them. Here's what they look like. Her next super is Drill of My Dreams. She ravages her opponent's face with quarter circle forward and any 2 of the 3 kick buttons at the same time, and is normally used as a combo ender, since it is the most damaging level 1 super in Fuka's arsenal. It can be done on the ground or in the air, and will deal more damage the further it travels, so don't use it close to the ground. This super is better recommended on the ground, since there is more potential distance going up and down. Best Friends Forever is a super that is invulnerable on startup. If your opponent is applying too much pressure, or if a dumb enough peacock thinks it's a great idea to pop Argasagani at you from at most half screen away or closer, use this bad boy and now you are to be feared. Upon hitting the opponent, this move will leave your opponent in a crumple state, allowing them to be comboed out of Orthoroki. The input for it is quarter circle back, and any 2 of the 3 kick buttons at the same time. The combo's damage will be scaled heavily, but that is what Clone Schmix is for. This super is also how you combo out of your command throws. You will consume your OTG if you use it after Tender Embrace. You'll keep the OTG if you use the super after Inevitable Snuggle, allowing Clone Schmix afterwards. Quarter circle back, and any 2 of the 3 punch buttons at the same time, is Fuka's level 3, twice shy, or what I like to call Big Vor Cannon. It's a hit grab that is fully invulnerable on startup. So if you throw this out, it can only be blocked. After giving Shamon his dinner, he will spit it out like the ungrateful hairy bastard he is, and cause a wall bounce. If your OTG isn't spent, you can combo out of it and cause more damage. But all these cool moves, especially you, pale in comparison to what is arguably in the top 3 supers in the game, and I will fight you if you disagree. Give a rousing round of applause to Head Over Heels. The input for this move is a bit of a doozy, so rather than use traditional terms for this, I will call it 360 light punch and light kick at the same time. This invulnerable command grab is worth 5 bars of meter, and for good reason. Allow me to explain. Once Fuka throws you up, and you land on what appears to be Squidward's face after that lovely pie finish doing God's work, you are propped up nicely in front of Fuka for her to throw out a normal and combo out of it with ease. The throw and explosion have decent range, but the borderline godlike thing about it is that once you combo out of it, all subsequent hits in the combo deal double the damage. Double the fucking damage! This move can guarantee the death of characters in most scenarios, and deal a gargantuan amount of damage if you combo out of it. And the best part about it is that Fuka's combos are some of the easiest in the game. It's a match made in heaven to punish all the denizens of hell. Use this, set up into it, or be a vegetable with a decent amount of dexterity and use it on wake up. Whatever you do, make the world know that, if someone is playing Anchor Fuka, they must be respected to the highest degree, and treated as gods. Because Head Over Heels will bring the wrath of their anger on all blasphemers and non-believers who dare stand in its way. That wraps up Fuka's kit. And now for the supplementary. The assists to go for is either heavy platonic relationship or any of her clones. She functions really well with most of the cast because of Heavy Drill's ability to force neutral in your favor and allow you to pressure. Fuka's wide array of abilities give her enough of a game plan to be able to play neutral in a variety of ways and sift her way to a favorable spot in the ability. Both by herself and on a team of 2 or 3. Her tools are decent in what they do, and pave the way for some of the most dangerous set play I've ever seen in a fighting game. So if you found this game on sale for $2 and think it's not worth the time, I urge you to stop reading the brainless drivel Cena Steam reviews that comes out of the human vegetables that like them. Reinstall the game, and give the green lady some time in the lab. She's not the most difficult character, and has some very fun setups that are sure to keep your opponent guessing. She's a blast to play, and has some nice skins to boot. So why not give her a try? Also, I have created a tier list based on skins, and if you disagree with me, you're wrong.